goes out to my niggas on lockdown and all my niggas on the streets. This that shit goes out to niggas that's locked down and niggas on the streets. I said shit goes out to my niggas that's locked down and all my niggas on the streets. This that shit goes out to niggas that's locked down.
My name is Chris.
I'm Aaron.
I'm the 3D God. We're back again.
Jamzilla, aka the Sinister One.
I'm Natty.
Man's like, I'm just Chuck, man. Just here, man.
And so we're gonna do a continuation from yesterday, but with a few different topics.
And a couple more heads to
and a
weigh
couple
in.
more heads added, a couple more filthy gents. And the first one we're gonna talk about is how
the roster.
we're gonna talk about black businesses and how we can help black businesses. So who wants to start? I said Jamzy starts because you were to talk about this.
I want to break. Yeah, because I did mention it in a last episode. So when we talk about black businesses, obviously, it has to make sense in regards to us helping them. So what I was trying to get at in the last episode is like, let's look for black businesses, but at the same time, if we feel as though black businesses are not sufficient or better than the alternative, which is white, Asian, whatever, then we should start looking to provide feedback, because the trend I've seen is where someone will complain about a black business, whether it's due to timing of the business service regarding, lack of or price. So those things should be mentioned as opposed to just saying, oh, I'm not using them man again because the service is dead. Or if you say, for example, you go to the jerk chicken shop, bruv, there was hardly any meat on that chicken, or they hardly gave me any festival. You know them ones. Well, you say it to your boys, but you ain't got a chest to go tell auntie or tell the woman that, look, I do like your jerk chicken usually, but the last rice and peas and jerk was a bit, it was a bit meaty. Could you I don't know, speak to the chef, and then from there we can kind of help each other as opposed to either just blanking them out and saying, look, I'm not using them lot anymore because of this. So that's my take on black businesses. If we're going to help them, it can't just be financially, but it has to be via feedback as well.
Yeah, because ultimately that will help them as well. Because there's been numerous times, to be honest, where I've, tried to look for black businesses and stuff. Like, say, whether it be me and the missus went to a black restaurant like a couple of months ago before everyone got locked down. We went to a black restaurant and they didn't have no rice and peas. They didn't have no normal rice. They only had what's the African rice? Sorry.
Jollof rice.
They only had jollof rice, and and they had no chicken. There's hardly anything in the shop. So, and instead of us telling them that it's not good enough, we're just this place is shit. We're not going back.
Exactly. So, and I feel like that's the common theme with us, us blacks using black businesses, having a bad experience and not working from it. It's not giving them the feedback. And if we do give them feedback, sometimes it's we make it public. So we will tell other people on a platform, say Instagram or your Facebook, before telling them. So take, for example,
Jamzy also.
I remember that.
Jamzy. Have you been in a Caribbean shop and you asked them for something, or you told them, oh, you didn't give me this, and they cost you? So where do you go from there?
You try to have a conversation. That's it. You can only have a conversation. But I know what you mean. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to try to pander around that, because that is a common thing that has happened. But at the same time, I feel as though if we can start changing the narrative and just speak normal as a with chest, because a lot of times they see it as disrespect. I don't know about you, but I feel as though myself, I've got a lot of pride. So even taking feedback, I'm in tech, right? So Chuck would probably know there's times where you would put you need to merge your code into the master branch, and you raise a PR, so it's a pull request. And the idea is for other developers to look at your code, just check that it's sane and it's functional, and then they'll write comments or they'll approve it. And there was times where back in the day when I was a junior dev, I always had comments saying, "Oh, this code's a bit clumsy. What's going on? Why did you think about that?" And I'll be honest. At the time, I was like, "What? Is man calling me clumsy? Are you mad?" Write comments back, because you could have a comment reel in GitHub, so I could have replied back to things like that. But you know what I did? I said, you know what? Let me take it on the chin. But that actually helped me going forward because it made my code better. So I feel as though we need to kind of change our attitude as people and be more acceptable to feedback, and even if it's the feedback that
Can I?
come off as bad as the cussing or disrespect, we just take it and work and improve on it. So,
Let me hear Natty's point of view because
So can I ask Aaron a question? When you went to the shop and they told you that XYZ was out of stock, did they sort of apologize? Did they offer you anything else, or give you something?
They apologize. You should, obviously you're gonna apologize if you're going to a shop looking for something and it's not there. You're gonna apologize for it not being there. But then they did, but they didn't offer like no alternatives. We just had to like go through the menu until they fucking had something that they had, and then we got that. So yeah, that's what happened.
I wasn't going to say anything on this point because my viewpoint on it is quite linear. But like one thing I will say is that like black people, when we talk to other black people, like the ice is kind of broken automatically. I don't know if you've ever like encountered this, but like when you see a black person in a shop or a black person running a particular kind of business, when you go to them, you kind of talk to them like you're their mate already. You know what I mean? It's different to talking to like a faceless white guy behind the counter. No offense to white people.
Are you kind of trying to say, Chuck, that like a black person expects you to like?
No. It's not even an expectation. But it's just like if I go into like a shop and a black person ain't got something, like it's kind of like the way I would approach it would be different to the way I would in
approach like a white man or an Asian.
So yeah, so like I'm like, where's this boss? But I wouldn't say that to a black person. I'd be like, whatever, you know what I mean? Let me get something else. And they probably, and if I did come to them with that kind of complaint, they'll be like, oh, boss, we ain't got it. Sorry, get something else, innit? You know what I mean? It's just like I feel like when you talk to black people, you're automatically expecting static from them. So we kind of just push our disagreements, our disgruntlement to one side. You know what I mean? We've already got this. Like we were talking about stereotypes earlier, like off the podcast. Anyway, we were talking about it earlier. It's just like, bro, you kind of stereotype people like me. I have that. You know that stereotype there. Them kind of things. We all have them ingrained in us. So when we do go to black businesses, we don't hold them to the same standards. More time. Like I didn't even want to get onto what I was going to say because it's going to offend a lot of people. But like really,
bruv, talk your talk, man.
Really, bro. Yeah, we all work. We all have finite amounts of money. Nobody has a bottomless pit of money. I'm not going to go to a black business purely because it's run by blacks. It's never going to happen. I'm going to go where I get the most bang for my buck. It's simple as that.
That's why I wanted Chuck on this
That's
episode.
simple as that.
That's true.
It's simple as that. Like, I'm not going to help you just because you're black. I'm not going to go to you because you're black when I can go to the shop across the road and get the same or better service or better quality product for the same price. It's like
capitalism 101.
Like bro, that's it. Like money is
free market, baby.
Money, bro, that's it. Like money is used for the exchange of goods and services. I'm not giving you money out of the good of my heart. You know what I mean? When people say, oh, it's something like, oh, every Jewish person, they spend 96 pence of their pound in another Jewish establishment. Have you ever considered that's because Jews have specific dietary requirements? Have you ever considered that?
Hold on. Slow down, soldier. So did you say Jews have specific dietary requirements as
Absolutely.
A religious thing?
Yeah, as a religious thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So stereotyping.
No.
It's kind of like halal. It's the same thing.
It's different. It's different to halal because if you ask most men what halal means, they can't tell you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
halal, halal is just meat killed in like a, what's the word for it? I wouldn't say a religious way, but like
respectful way.
Respectful way, right?
Yeah, a more ethical manner, I should say. Like it's killed and then they say a prayer and etc. But like, I'm not gonna like if I'm black and you got a white man serving me mac and cheese and jerk, or like look at Turtle Bay. Turtle Bay's blowing because we hold them to higher standards than we do to the jerk man down the road. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple.
I've never been to Obey yet, but I've heard it's trash.
It's garbage, bro. It's garbage, cuz.
It's garbage, yeah.
It's whack. It's whack. Yeah, but you will catch me in Turtle Bay to get jerk and whatever rather than going to the next shop. It's very simple.
Their drinks are banging though. Their cocktails
why would you go to why would you go to Deliveroo?
I'm not saying, but I'm saying no. But I'm just saying, like, look at how they have managed to corner the same market. Yeah. And the black person hasn't. Are you telling me that?
Is that an investment thing though? I don't know the background of Turtle Bay.
I really don't
feel
like it's investment, but I could be wrong. But like end of the day, let me get back to my original point, bro. Just because you're black, it don't mean I'm copying off you. Look how many black men are opening up these fly-by-night clothing shops. The only one that lasts is Trapstar, because their clothes are good. If you're sending me some Fruit of the Loom t-shirt with a logo, like I'm not gonna like fuck off, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
Chuck, is that whether they have been exposed to enough people? Is that a factor?
no, bro, listen, yeah. Go and watch UK drill videos from 2014 to now. You see all these clothing lines popping up, but when you actually try and buy a piece from them, it's either out of stock, sized poorly, the delivery's poor, or when you get it, it's a poor quality. I'm not going to spend my money on your thing.
This actually goes back to what Louie was saying in the last episode about stock, and just the fact that we are not in charge of, or we don't own everything else in terms of the infrastructure and the logistics to allow that to happen. So if there is a lack of stock,
we don't need to.
You have to
You
rely,
know,
that person has to rely on the other
we
people.
don't need to.
You don't need to be. You don't need to have what's it called? Supply chains for these things.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
I was saying even going off from the point.
It's not hard to go.
Black people don't prepare.
It's not hard to go and bulk buy rice. As an example, it's not hard to bulk buy rice and have rice for a time when you might need it.
It's literally foresight and planning.
It's
not. You don't need a black infrastructure like that.
If we're trying to cut corners now and make as much profit for as little quality as possible, then someone like me, I'm going to see through exactly the fugazi thing you're doing, and I'm not going to spend my money there.
But my problem is I was trying to make was that people aren't future proof. Like when I was saying people are living like paycheck to paycheck, it moves on. The mentality comes into business too. Black people, for most of us live paycheck to paycheck. So when it comes to even us doing businesses and trying to change our situations, you kind of bring that wrong mentality there, and you just try and hit the lick. Like, how many people have run off on plugs, for example? Like numerous blacks. Numerous. That's not hustling, is it?
Black people.
I don't get.
Hey, but that's real talk.
More time. He's telling the absolute truth. Black people don't think of the future; they think of the now. He's telling the truth.
Okay, but that goes back to my original point of us needed to change that narrative and providing feedback, and us being more accepting to feedback, however way it's formed. So if you feel as though, are you disrespecting me, like we should just still take it on board. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, I guarantee you.
You know what I want to say?
If you ask Aaron about the restaurant he went to, they don't have TripAdvisor. They don't have none of that joints. They don't have none of them joints. People, they're not trying to.
That thing.
Trustpilot is actually a big business. I didn't know.
Man, do not pattern their thing correctly. So if I want to go somewhere and I want to buy something, I'm going to go to the best place to buy it for me or receive that service, bro. I don't give a fuck if you have.
Ultimately, what Jamzy is saying is right. If it would be better if we did give the feedback to the things.
Are they going to take it? Bro,
yeah, but you can only try, don't it? You try it, and if they still fuck it up, then that's it.
Do your thing. When you run a business, run it proper. Don't run it at all, bro. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean. Run it proper. Not even don't run it at all. Not even don't run it at all, because that's wrong. Because there are black businesses out there that are still making money, still providing income for people that have chosen to go that route, and good for them. Well done, because that's a bigger risk than most men are willing to take. That's a bigger risk than I'm willing to take, for example. So kudos to you. But at the end of the day, if it's shit, I'm not gonna be taking part in it. You know what I mean?
It's jumping into business is risky. Like that's what people kind of don't want to accept. Like it's not cool. Like it's the days and nights of hard work. And
we ain't got the same. We have not got the same support system that a lot of people in this country have when they begin businesses. You know, when a middle-aged white, I shouldn't even say middle-aged white male. When a white male in his late 20s, early 30s says, you know what, fuck this, I've had enough of the rat race. Yeah, I'm gonna start my own business doing something very niche or something that I believe can make me money in the future. Yeah, times might be hard for them. If the thing goes belly up, then man can go back and live with their mum, because their mum's not going to be telling them what's this.
That's something that that's something I think a lot of people.
That's not true.
I think
some people going back home.
Bro, what you have to realize is, you're middle class. I'm middle class, so I can say these things. You know what I mean? You can say, oh, what's stopping you? But some men, they can't do that.
That's true. Chuck. I think a big thing with opening up a business with a lot of people, is that obviously they don't want to lose money. All they think is of gaining.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly what's going back to. That's going back to what Louie said. Them men are not thinking. People are hustling for the next month or the next 3 months. They're not thinking about 2 years and down the line. You know what I'm saying?
You need
they're not trying to build a legacy,
man.
Yeah. But anyway,
I know. So I was talking with my cousin about his clothing line, and he was dropping bars about Ralph Lauren and all these places, like they made it this far by having staying power. Like, how many people could you talk to about their business and their mentality is like having staying power to last long enough in the game to actually be remembered?
Bro,
Like, not that many.
all these black things, yeah, all these black clothing lines, yeah, they phase in and out. Bro, do you remember No Green Tea? Who remembers No Green Tea? Does anyone remember? No one even remembers it. Like, that's the thing with the smiley face on the top of it with the I can't remember the name of the sign, but you know the sign, like the fire exit sign or whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, that shit was popping.
Bro, black clothing brands don't plan more than one season.
Look at
they have one season and one set of designs, and look about the other ones to come.
Look at fucking Decino. We saw Decino everywhere. 2016. Where is it now? Clown thing, bro. Them are not joking.
There's a couple. Benja and Trapstar seem to have done well. When
they got fucking what's the one I'm seeing now? Smooth Gangster. That I see all these on 2 years wearing. I'm like, bro, pack it in, bro, because in a year time you're not gonna be wearing. Like,
wait, which one is that one? Is it the CHG one?
No, the Smooth Gangster one is whack. But like all I'm saying is, you like when you.
What happened to Fire Trap?
And Fire Trap, that's not black clothing. That's
it's not.
But what was I gonna say anyway? Another thing, yeah, that like I'm sorry for going on these tangents, but I've got shit to say in it. Like, why is it, yeah, that when a black boy or a black woman decides to start a business, it's so, like, they stick to the same things. Like,
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Like,
are the only services a black man can provide making clothes? That's not the only thing a black man could do. It's the only thing a black woman could do, cook or sell hair from horses. Bro, you could do better.
It's a crowded trade. You know, shocking. The man who think outside the box, they always blow as well. They never, like, you don't stall.
Bro,
like how many black people start IT companies and blow? Like, they genuinely do blow, like, for the most part.
Bro, if you start, try and be professional.
All right.
There is more to this thing than selling weaves. There's more to this thing than selling
Chuck. Okay, on that point, I think that still needs to be the case because. So I'm going to talk about the weave situation. Man said horse, but I would prefer that to consistently be owned by black women, black people in general, because if you've noticed from the beginning of when I was able to go out and start buying my own cosmetics, if you go into the black beauty stores, usually it's the Asian
Indian people.
It's the Asian guys that are running that. So when you're saying, why does it have to be black people doing this, black people doing, I'm like, yes, make sure it's black people doing that. I want black people to provide services that are for black people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a problem when it's not. Do you know what I mean?
That will help pass money around the community, innit?
Now, I'm going to ask you a serious question, and I want 100% truthful response. Yeah. Let's say you have two shops right next to each other. One is black owned. One is owned by an Asian guy. Yeah. They both sell the same weave. One man is selling it for, I don't know how much weave goes for. I don't fucking have weave. You know what I'm saying? I would never know that. But same man is selling a pack of weave for 20 boys, and the Asian man is selling it for 15 boys. Truthfully, what shop are you going to?
The one that gives me the best quality. So it's not just about the price.
Bro,
it's the same product.
Okay, so it's the same product, right?
Yes.
I'm going to go to the black one and tell them, like, you're being undercut, but I need to find out the reason why. So if we can get to the reason why weave is £5 cheaper by the Indians, and it's probably maybe because they've got some kind of deal with the suppliers that us blacks probably get blackballed by having those sort of deals, then I understand. Do you know what I mean? So you have to kind of look at it's more deep rooted.
Hey, Jamzy, if you do that, you're a better man than I. Me, I'm taking that £5 and I'm getting KFC blood.
That's fine. But then we can't complain about us being uplifted or going to the next level.
I don't complain about it.
I know you don't. Of course you don't. But I'm saying as a people, if that's our mentality, so you're straightforward. Like you're quite how can I say it? Like you won't flake from one side to the other. Where there are other people that literally have the same thought process as you, but they'll be out there marching right now. Do you know what I mean? They're literally in the protest. So you're thinking,
I think Natty had a point. What were you going to say, Natty?
So what I was going to say is, I think where we're going wrong, is maybe we're only like, 14% of the population.
Yeah.
Like, why are we starting all of these businesses that focus towards our community? Why don't you make businesses that actually cater to white people that make up the majority of the community?
This is going to get got.
That's how
Natty, let me ask you a question. Natty.
Yeah, go on.
Do you think those white people are gonna buy from us black people
Bro,
Why not?
they
It
think,
doesn't-
bro,
Wait, guys, can I say
wait,
something real
let me
quick?
land. He asked me the
Let him
question.
land, let him land, let him land.
Bro, they'll be having the exact case. They don't have the conversation because of their white privilege. Yeah, they don't have to think about stuff like this. They will buy from wherever is cheaper. They're not going to look at the guy in black counter and say, "Oh, I need to support my fellow white man," because they're just up.
Them man don't care about that. Them man will go.
They'll buy whatever's
Them
cheaper.
man will
For the
bust
sake
to
of
When they
the-
buy curry, they'll go to India, man.
Exactly, bro. They don't give a fuck. If a Turkish man has to, if a Turk cuts their hair better than the white man cuts their hair, they'll go to the Turk. They don't care.
Exactly.
I see a lot of Caucasian men going to Turkish barbers.
Them man don't care
Because they
Them
cut-
man-
because they cut
don't
the
have this.
hair.
They don't have this stupid conversation between themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to spend here to improve the black community. No, blood.
Exactly.
The real problems with blacks are not coming from the fact that black people do not spend money with other black people. If that's what you think, then you're an idiot. I'm sorry, bro. That's what
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why not trying to focus on the black community is
Yeah.
L already?
Like,
because
why don't you
they make
focus
a
on that? Why you not
population.
focus on the fact that some of us aren't finishing school? Why not focus on the fact that some of our parents have to work several jobs to keep a roof over their head? You know what I mean? Like, don't be a fucking idiot and think because I buy my wheat from an Indian man, I am a bad person.
Yeah.
And,
All right, let's hear that. So
God.
you guys are talking about consumables. So you're talking about things like weed, hair,
Even services.
Okay, you're talking about service. So let's go beyond that. So let's talk about wealth and the generational wealth where we know.
Actually, Jamzy, can I say something about what you're saying about feedback?
You're gone.
What was even the point I was going to make? You know, partly as well when the time of society where people can't even take a little send. You know, they really can't. Like that, you know, I think that's what even makes Sophie different. Like
That's
I
what I'm
just
saying.
put
But
that
that's-
idiot.
but that's
And
what
he's
I'm
wrong,
talking-
and
but that's
he'll
what I'm
understand,
talking- but that's
and
what I'm talking
he'll tell me like I'm fucking up when I'm fucking up, like, and he'll tell me straight.
about.
Yeah,
Whereas
so that's
you
what I
can't
meant
do
by
that
we
with
need to
other
change
people.
that narrative.
I'm
So
saying, bro, dreads do not take chat from other dreads, bro.
Yeah,
Bro.
but I was saying
Bro, if you see if a white say you're out, and a white guy steps on your trainers and says, "Sorry, mate," you're probably willing to let that slide. More time, let's be honest. You're willing to let that slide. If another black person steps on your dreads, it's beef, bro. Let's be honest, man.
yeah, but this is what.
Like, that's the way.
There's a lot of problems being outlined, but I think what I was trying to suggest with this topic was solutions. So you're hitting the nail on the head. You're telling me things that I know already. But what I'm trying to propose is, okay, what can we do better?
My solution is stop focusing making the same businesses. Focus on businesses that can actually
So niches,
benefit.
right?
Yeah, don't be niche. Like, be more broad. Maybe go for something that can benefit people more generally, rather than the black community specifically. Like, create a service. Like, build something. Like, it's just not.
But you know, when you say that, you're being quite optimistic. So I'm going to give you an example. You guys know that I'm a property owner, so I'm a landlord as well. There was a point where I was literally managing my properties in terms of collecting the rent, being a maintenance guy, and there was times, I'm not just talking about black people, but white people as well, where I felt as though they would look at me, and maybe due to my age, I didn't seem like the typical landlord, that they think they can just kind of take the piss, right? Blacks especially as well. And it was even funny because at one point I was renting to students, and I was like, I just want to rent to black students. I just feel like, because a lot of the times I was hearing through my brothers as well, when he was going to university, it was hard finding accommodation as a black group. So I was like, okay, I'm in a position where I can accommodate black groups. I'm going to prioritize them when they come for visits. I was like,
And it's stunning.
not even giving discounts. But I did notice that, you know, there was sometimes I feel like, right, like when it comes to paying rent late, or, you know, like not paying rent in full and doing silliness in regards to the bills and maintenance, I was thinking, right, are you guys doing this because you think
Because they think
you can take piss on me, or would you do this if it was a white man, or was it if it was a company behind it? So if it was William H. Brown or
You know what is,
Connells,
Jamzy?
whatever.
This is my opinion, yeah. Because they're black and they feel familiar with you, they feel like they can take like the piss.
Exactly.
Because if it was another person of color, they'll be like, "Oh, we gotta pay this." That's my opinion.
Well, that's the thing that needs to change. You can't do that, though. You can't do that.
White man stomping you out in the corner like Stone Cold Steve Austin for the rent, you won't be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be
It's true.
violent. You can't be violent.
It's true. It's when and the thing is, they're very professional. I think my problem was I was too facial, so they constantly saw me. However, if I sent just correspondence by mail and they never saw me, so if it came to like visits and I said, okay, I got an estate agent involved, so estate agent would come, you know, suit and tie, like proper. Whereas me, I'm coming in my tracksuit in a Range Rover. They're thinking, oh, he's good in it. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, that's the way things go.
Right?
If you sent some bold guy looking like Goldberg, he's not
Exactly.
then it's a problem, right? If it's like a real race like that, they're looking at it thinking. But I think that's a complex that we just have, right? We just think, shit, like we have to make sure we pay the white man. However, when it's a black person, it's like, oh, whatever. Even when we're buying stuff. So there's times like when I used to buy, when I bought a car, like when I'm buying a car, and you know, it would be another a black guy, like a second-hand car, see on Gumtree, go meet the guy, it's black guy, be like, come on, mate, you know, give me a bit of a discount. Come on, bro, come on, my guy, my bro. But when it's a white guy, usually we're just like, we just give him the money. It's like, oh, safe, lad, thank you. You know what I mean? So there's a lot in us in terms of our mind set. We need to change how we correspond with each other.
That's why Aaron and his missus can go into a restaurant and get told there's no rice and stay in the restaurant. That's why.
We were riding out, but we were riding out for them people.
I've been to Burger King, yeah, and they told me we ain't got burgers. I'll be like, safe, I'm going to McDonald's. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting there and saying, oh, can I get chicken nuggets from Burger King because you're black.
There's a familiarity that comes with dealing with other black people in business. It can be good or bad.
It's just like, all right, put it this way, yeah. The wickedest thing right now, I'm working with a black client right now, yeah, at work, and he's having some development work done on his website, right? Yeah. The way this guy emails me and corresponds with me is completely different to the way he corresponds with my boss and other staff at the office. And I'm like, I feel obliged to help my man because he's a dread. You know what I mean? Like, that is bad. Like, he is not paying for the services he wants rendered, but I am feeling like I have to take my own time out to help him, even though his shit is at the bottom of my list of priorities. And when he emails me and he messages me, he sends me some wreck that he could never ever send to anybody else. Bro, only dreads do that.
Okay, cool. I think we spent quite a bit, over half an hour on this subject. We've outlined all the problems. So let's go around the table. What's the solution? Like, in one blurb, what would you say a solution is to the issues that we've just outlined? So starting with Natty.
Stop making businesses that only cater to the black pound. Look outside your community. Okay. They make up 40% of the population right now. Just cater to the white people and the rest.
That's fair. To be honest. Louie, what quickly could you summarize your solution?
So the main problem for me would be the mentality behind people not understanding the risk they're taking. So I would say need to come prepared for the battle you're taking on. Obviously, starting a business is honourable. So I would say come capitalized and ready to actually last long enough, not 3 months and finesse people and bounce. That's the Toby style.
All right, Aaron, what would your suggestions be?
I'd agree with Natty and say you need to broaden your horizons in the businesses that you're making. Like, so you make businesses that cater to not just people in your own community, but like out there. Let me just quickly say, look at like chicken shops, for example. Not just Asian people go to chicken shops, not just black people go to chicken shops. Everyone goes to chicken shops, but who do you see in them working most of the time? You see like Asian people working in there. I would also like to say that in the meantime, we can also give feedback to the black businesses that are out there that might be not getting as much business as they'd like because of certain things. And yeah, that's it really. Just communicate with your black businesses that exist and try and broaden your horizons.
Cool. In fact, can I add, if you don't want to take feedback, you'll feel it on your balance sheet, just like the Federal Reserve. Thank you very much.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
My one is like, Natty, change the mindset of what you're selling to. Because you know, on your Instagram, and you posted 4 businesses.
Yeah. You
know your friend, is it
Chin?
What's the black guy? Giddy.
They're all black.
Giddy.
Oh yes, yeah, my guy.
So see how he's clothing. Yes, that really kind of caters to the high power, like more rich
everyone, and even by the models, you can see it's not just black models.
Not
it's
black people, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, Chuck, go ahead. Summarize your.
If you are somebody trying to start a black business, be more discerning with what you do. Like, try and do it properly. Like, I'm not trying to spend my money with you purely because you're black. A lot of men do not think like the way I think, but me personally, I will even down mark you. I will give you worse grades if your service is poor and you're black. I'll give you worse grades, bro. So do your thing properly, we
My
don't do it at all.
goodness.
And also, yeah, if you're somebody who's looking to participate in black business, yeah, don't do this affirmative action thing where you spend money with them because they're black. Force them to get better. Force them to get better. And take
Okay, when you say force them,
else,
how? By giving them critical feedback?
You can give them critical feedback, but also if you take your money elsewhere, they'll have to know shit. Maybe
Oh, come on, man.
maybe right. That's my opinion, bro. It's my opinion, fam.
Do you know what I'm going to lead into next? Yeah, I think this is a good one to lead into. Is I think you lot overheard this news. The Reddit co-founder stepping down on wanting a black man to take his position. Do you man think that is white guilt?
Absolutely white guilt.
Bro,
was it Powell? Was it Powell? I forgot her name. The Asian woman.
No, it's the white. It's the white.
White
It's the
guy.
white dude that's married to Serena.
Get his name.
It's the white dude.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, if there's not a textbook definition of white guilt, then what is that? That is disgusting.
If it smells like white guilt and looks like white guilt,
We're stepping away from a
So
9-figure business because black people are complaining on social media.
okay, well, one sec. Slow down, soldier. So yeah, I got a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I understand it. It's very noble of what he's doing, but at the same time, when you look at the flip side, it's very much high level affirmative action to the point where now the person who takes that role they're going to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, am I here because of my ability to carry out the role, or literally just because
exactly what I was
being black?
That's what it is, though, isn't it? That's what's going to happen to them. There's no chance that they're not going to feel like that. How are you going to get put into such a position of power because of the color of your skin?
That's fucking
You would
awful,
hope that the person has the merits as well. So it's not
exactly.
just the fact that he's black, but you know, he's as good as the co-founder.
Bro, you are it's literally saying we have got a fucking stage for you to dance on, monkey. Go and dance. Bro, that is dead.
Affirmative action in general is just a hot mess. You need to be hiring people you know are capable of the job. You can't just be hiring people because of the color of their skin and they're shit at the job when you could hire someone else who would be good at it.
Can I touch on that?
Alright, you guys continue. I'm going to be back in a minute, but continue, yeah?
I shouldn't even really speak on this, but I've worked at a workplace and they've sort of created a program to sort of get more black employees or people of ethnic minorities, BAME, into the office. And firstly, the first issue I've had with it is that the roles that they put them in, it's only interns so far, where it seems to be all the interns seem to be black, and the way they're integrating them in the business, they're not actually setting them up for success. It's like if you get fresh 18 or 16-year-olds out of like school into business and put them in like a corporate, like mainly white environment and say, all right, cool, go and do work now. It just doesn't work. They don't know how to carry themselves. They're young. They don't know how to behave. They don't really care that much. And inevitably, the positions end up not working, and they don't end up getting kept on because they're not given the support of like how to move and maneuver in that type of environment. So like all this affirmative action, I'm just going to hire a black person and put them in, regardless of whether
they can do it,
or without support. It doesn't really work, in my opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Another thing is, yeah, let's all be realistic, bro. Quotas have to be met, fam. Quotas have to be met.
Yeah, of course.
People in statistics have to be able to say, oh look, year on year, black employment is increasing. Year on year, black people are being accepted to jobs that are not menial. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
but we have to also take into consideration that this thing was made for more racist times. You know, not saying that racism is gone now.
Yeah,
but it was made in a time where black people couldn't get jobs for work just because they were black.
Bro,
so they put this thing into play.
To make sure. But no, there's no need for that.
That's what I'm saying. It's 2020 now. There's not necessarily a need for that kind of thing to be taking place still.
Don't get me wrong. Black people, there's certain people whose CV gets fucking Hadouken
You read someone's name and you don't like the way the name sounds. That thing is getting the 3-point shot into the bin.
Let's get in that NBA treatment and get that shit out of here.
That's when the CVs turn into coffee cup holders. Man.
Exactly, but that's when they get turned into coasters, boy.
We all know it happens, but then as a result, we just work harder, fam. Let's work harder.
You know them ones where you appear at the interview and they're like, oh, we made a big mistake.
Them ones when they see you at the interview and like if you actually, because some of you Caribbean man, you're a bit lucky. You have anglicized surnames.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they might think you're a white guy, bro. When
Yeah,
they
exactly.
see you, when they see you, you'll be sweated, fam.
You need to watch their face. You need to see their face drop when they see that you're a black man, boy.
When you pull up,
Watch their face drop. With man like Dave, and they see Dave as a black man, they see their face drop, boy.
There's actually surname privilege, boy.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
first name.
Wow, surname privilege.
It's true. My mum said she always tells people that they should give their children, black children, neutral first names if they've got a neutral surname. So like the because they know you're going to get discriminated. So why give them a reason? Why give them a chance? You know what I'm saying?
Don't handicap your child.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you guys are conforming with society's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, because I know
you know.
what you have to do to get beat up. I don't think I like to accept the realities of what we have to deal with and maneuver around it.
Exactly,
I'm just going to be a
that's
donut and just say, well, it shouldn't be like this. So
I'm gonna call my children something that certain men are gonna see, and that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
How would you do that? You could be the perfect candidate for the certain children, but the fact of the matter is this, yeah, and in a lot of cases, yeah, another thing people don't understand, yeah, is CV writing, yeah. A lot of times, it's not anybody who's actually connected with the business who's looking at your CV. It's some guy in HR. It's some guy in HR.
I've got an interesting question, yeah.
Because no. Let me finish. Because
go ahead.
First thing first. Yeah, a lot of CVs these days they're auto scanned anyway. So if you write, so that's why also writing a cover letter is always a boon. You always write a cover letter when you're applying for any job, no matter what it is, because an auto scanner is not going to take into account.
Yeah, really and truly, the covering letter is the CV itself, innit? That's the thing that gets you over, not the CV itself.
So there are CVs. Yeah, there's software that can scan a CV, look for certain buzzwords, and go into a good power or a bad power. Yeah, and then somebody has to read it. So if your CV passes them things and then they read it and they see a dread name, that shit can go in the bin, bro. It can.
Name.
It can go in the bin. It can
We've got to come with a Blake name, yeah.
Chuck,
yeah, bro.
You do.
Chuck, I've got a question for everyone. I know Jamzy's a prideful man, yeah. So if you go to an interview and you just see one other person outside, he's white, that person gets the job, but then for some unknown reason he can't take it, and they call you back, are you going to take the job?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
You should definitely take it. You should definitely take it.
If they're paying me money to do what I'm good at, why would I not?
Just because I'm not first choice, I'm gonna cry. Like, get out of here, man.
Yeah, you should definitely act like a diva.
It's my job, not my wife.
Let's also be honest, yeah. In a country where we are a minority, yeah, in an office with mostly white people, are we not going to be the odd one out? We're going to be the odd one out. We're not going to have the same culture as them. There is a degree of nepotism anytime somebody makes a hire. It's the fact of life, bro. Wherever
you hire people like you.
Yeah, exactly. You hire people who think the same way as you, or who will be a good fit for the team that you currently have in whatever line of employment you're doing. So,
and that's not even just a race thing, you know. We can talk about genders, sexual orientation, but that's even deeper.
Education. There's all sorts of factors, bro. Black people need to stop saying that. Bro, it's nuts, bro. It's nuts. There are a lot of black people who don't think before they say things, or think about the deeper meaning behind why certain things happen. You know what I mean? Don't just start begging them for handouts because of the color of your skin, because then everything just goes to complete shit.
But back to the co-founder, I feel that he should have stepped down. I feel like the pressure of the media forced this guy to think, you know what, if I step down, it's going to make a change, or it's going to do...
He actually said, hold on, in the statement, he did actually say, this is a long time coming, which makes me believe that he was planning to step down anyway, and he just this was sort of the additional push that needed to step down.
Which one of you are frequent users of Reddit as much as I do? I think Louie.
I do.
Louie, I think Louie.
Oh, did they not lock off half the subreddits on Tuesday in protest?
Oh, they shut them down. Quarantine subreddits.
What kind of fuckery is that? You're shutting.
I think they locked off the history subreddit. The history.
Fucking clown thing, bro. Like that's some soy boy behavior, bro.
Tech has become politicized. Like it's like nothing is safe from identity politics anymore. From when Twitter, put the Trump tweet as sensitive, the one about when the looting started, the shooting these companies, the tech companies are not like neutral anymore. They're taking sides, which is nuts because they control some information.
It's horrible.
It's bad.
When Alex Jones got locked off, Alex Jones, that's a whole heap of fuckery. Let's be honest, a whole heap of fuckery. But everybody has a right to free speech, bro.
Exactly.
As long as you're not, as long as you're not committing crimes or conspiring to commit crime on the internet, yeah, you should be allowed to post whatever the fuck you want on there, and it should have
You
no.
know what though? On that topic, what Natty was saying about Twitter, do you know TikTok? So basically, I've seen a lot of complaints on Twitter, people saying that when white people are racist on there, it stays on, but when a black person decides to speak up and say something, instantly taken off.
That is a problem though, because the amount of racist shit I've seen on TikTok is
Is
crazy.
that
bro.
true?
But you know what though, Aaron?
Is it true though?
Aaron, though, if you're black here and you've heard this information, why don't you come off that app? And why don't someone that's black think, oh, do you know what? I can make this app, and then there you go.
They tried that.
The problem is you can't make that.
No, don't say that's the problem. They don't have to make the app, so they don't have to be the engineers. Because I work in tech, I know a lot of the groundwork is outsourced. You know, a lot of the brunt, and you're never really reinventing the wheel. There's frameworks around it's not too difficult once you have a concept, an idea to get up. Running and a product to market. So they tried this already with Twitter. There was I remember a big campaign saying, "Oh, we don't like Twitter anymore. You know, we're going to have a black Twitter. We're going to call it Blitter." And it was popping for a bit. And then for some reason, the user activity of that black Twitter declined, and everyone just went back to normal.
Me anyway. Having a social media network for black people is fucking disgusting.
No, it only makes sense when you're talking about things like dating website, like dating network. Okay,
dating website, but they're dating website.
But when you're talking about a social network, you can't make it too specific. You can, but it's never successful.
I'm not saying that, Jamzy. What I'm saying is that instead of the white man controls or whoever what race controls that TikTok,
it's owned by Chinese.
Why don't Chinese make a similar?
Come on, tell them about
Why don't a black person make a similar product? And if, for example, if a white person comes on that product and they start being racist, then you can take them off that.
Yeah, of course. That's no problem, Chris. It's the commercial awareness. So
how do
me and Guam can bring out an app as similar to TikTok with a few perks, but if there's no user engagement and there's no marketing push, who's going to use it?
If you haven't got a $400 million company behind you in China, you think TikTok is going to be able to advertise?
Put it this way.
We have a financial structure that has. You need cheap money to fund the nonsense apps which we all use. It's not, you can't fund these businesses in normal times, and that's part of the problem. Uber's not even meant to exist.
Right.
That's true. He's right.
We can lead into another topic then, because the fuckery I see on some of these apps, from high people such as Katie Hopkins or David Vance. So
they should be allowed to show what they want, though.
Exactly.
They should, but I just think
could I because a lot of people we know over here who Katie Hopkins is, but David Vance is I don't know what he is. He's a very old man. He's verified on Twitter, and he's got a very alt-right view of things. He's based in the UK. Let me just read one of his recent tweets, due to everything that's going on right now. So he said, BLM, so Black Lives Matter, is not pro-black, it's actually anti-white. Another tweet by him was around the UK sinking countless billions into Afro-Caribbean community. Conservative MP Johnny Mercer claims its failures are due to unfair privilege. He then claims British soldiers who fought to defend the UK over centuries, e.g. at the Somme, who were fighting racism. I don't know how true that was, but basically you can kind of tell the sort of person he is. Should they be allowed to just constantly spew this on the platform and be verified? So that's why I don't think so.
Bro, you got black people on there chatting a whole heap of rubbish about white people as well, bro. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
With a verified tag, I'm not
there are black people. There are black people.
We have a black.
There are black people with verified tags now out on Twitter in America chatting a whole heap of madness about white people.
America here, right? America, their problems are deep rooted, as we discussed in the last episode. But over here now,
Bro,
like,
if there was, there would be men following him. Let's not act now. Let's not act, bro. If there was a black man chatting a whole heap of grease about white people on News Verified, niggas will be retweeting him and following.
What a UK Dr. Iman
Yeah,
Johnson
there'll
would
be men following him. There'll be men following him. There'll be
He
men
might not be
retweeting his shit.
verified, but people.
He might be, but he might be.
Jamzy, you know the problem is this even brings in another problem where it's these tech companies with the censoring, like on Twitch, certain men get away with fuckery. Like some girls are literally showing breasts weekly in and out, and they don't get banned. Whereas someone literally like falls over and their boob falls out and they get banned. Like the problem is that there's one rule for many and then a whole another rule for.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, a lot of these companies like controversy or they like fuckery. That's what it is. Like,
I don't know, because in Louie's case, the Twitch thing, it's just fucking losers who are modding the thing, man. Who simps who are modding the thing.
It's real simps, bro. You know them top nerds, bro. That
it's just they have no chance, but they're just trying to white knight for the thing.
Yeah,
just in case someone can pop off. So it's like a different dynamic in that sense, I suppose.
Well, I personally don't think people like Katie Hopkins should be talking like that. Like,
free speech, man.
They make peace from it. Free speech, bro. Because if that's not allowed to exist, then you can't go on and track fuckeries either. Because we can't
it's inciting.
As long as nothing criminal is happening as a result of it, they're golden. Let them say what they want. As long as they're not telling them to go out and shoot black people.
Yeah, they're not inciting violence.
Bro, they're blessed, bro. They're blessed, bro. Me, I just ignore that, let them move on. Bro, everyone saw the video of Katie Hopkins getting invited to that fake thing where she started smashing Pakistan. Where she started being exposed. She was getting them.
Yeah, she was getting on them.
Giving them 2 barrels, bro. It's allowed, fam. Yeah. It's allowed.
Her true colours have been exposed. And at the end of the day, people spend so much time atting her and following her.
Yeah,
they actually give her more clout.
Yeah,
that's the problem. If you don't like this stuff, you need to not pay any attention.
Bro. That famous Tyler the Creator tweet. Oh, nigga talking about cyber billion, like log off, bro. Exactly. Log off, log off. Change your tab. Go do something else.
Other topic, actually.
You know what, Jamzy, this leads. I know what you're gonna say. This leads into cancel culture, innit?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All these niggas talking about cancel culture, bro. So if a white man loses his job because he said something rude to a black person, does that make you feel warm inside? Like, I'd
just like to say that Chuck is doing one-frame links from topic to topic.
This nigga spinning.
Niggas should ever give me a platform to talk, because me, I would just start saying whatever the fuck I want, bro. So you are a black woman, yeah, probably tweeting from your mum's Wi-Fi, yeah, and you're chatting about getting the next man sacked because they said something you don't like on Twitter. When they were dragging up all these tweets about these black guys, yeah, these black rappers and black influencers in this country dissing black women, because like there was a period of time where it was proper in vogue to be dissing black women, and I was there for that. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
This is what I was afraid you'll come to. You'll come to me white knight in the Queen.
Bro, a lot of these men are black niggers in it, so I can't talk too much. But you know what, yeah, niggas are coming with some A1 lyrics, yeah, from 2013, and black women in 2020 are getting hurt. Like, a nigga typed that from his BlackBerry internet, and you're getting mad.
Do you know what? There was something that caught my head when I was looking at the Twitter timeline when the cancel culture was going on. Yeah, there were black girls that were saying, "Oh, why are niggas saying this?" Blah blah blah. But you don't remember back in the day in school when girls were saying, "Oh, you're blick."
Yep.
Bro.
Yeah, to be fair though, in that when there was the purge of black content creators getting exposed, a lot of black women were getting exposed as well. There's like these very high, numerous black female influencers were saying shit about
black women hate black women as much as black women.
I'd say I'm
talking about the influencers. I'm talking about the people who are tweeting thinking they got like some higher power to X man.
But a lot of them are influencers though. A lot of them. There was even a girl.
Like a regular tweeter, yeah, that's trying to like off somebody.
Yeah.
people are acting like back in the day they weren't calling man them
Oh,
blick.
but you can't say for certain that they were though. To be honest,
I'm not saying all of them are, but there's definitely some of them that have said this, but they're just trying to hide behind and say.
It's a safe bet to say that they were. It's a safe bet to say that they were, but you can only go on the people that were caught saying shit.
Yeah,
And a lot of these people now claim to be pro-black, and all their content is geared towards black people. If you look at their YouTubes and whatnot, but if you look back,
milking the cow, though.
Making niggas apologize. You had Ghetto, a famous MC, fucking posting pictures of black women all day on Twitter one day. I was like, this is
He's an ex-gunman. How have you got ex-gunman skanking type guns, like apologizing on the internet? Like, this is a clown world. This is upside down.
Making niggas twerk for you, bro. You don't even buy their music. You don't buy their products. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, really? Shut up for them. Like,
for me,
do you listen to Nines? You don't.
For me as well, I feel like some of it is uncalled for because obviously some of them people, they're younger in it. They're like maybe in their teens, 17, 18. They're just running along with the school joke or.
But you know, this is where what I was saying last episode comes in, where these men have nothing to. This is all they've got, like their internet clout, like the internet points. That's all they got from, like. So they ride with it. They proper go in for their internet points. That's what they have.
Instead of using, so if you're black, and you firmly believe that black people need to do better, what is cancelling other black people do? Is that not completely counterproductive?
That is a good point.
But
I'm here to see people get cancelled for being coons, man.
I love it, bro.
Wow. So Aaron, you want to purge within our community?
You know, it's not that deep. I just like seeing people get put under pressure for being coons.
Everybody loves a good burial.
Exactly. I love me a burial, man.
But people forget, like, people used to go to the town square to which people get hanged. This is no different.
Well,
Louie, I don't want to see people dead. I don't want to see people dead.
I love the gladiator battles online.
I got a question for Natty.
When you see this account is locked after somebody.
Natty, you're still here.
I'm still here.
Natty.
I'm just listening.
Hey, Natty.
A good place. Yo, go on.
On this point of cancel culture, one of your boys came out of jail and he's still popping. I think you know who I'm talking about. 6ix9ine. How?
My boy. Okay. Go on.
I'm just trolling. Do you think this guy should be cancelled then?
Do I think he should be cancelled? I don't really give a shit, to be honest, but I suppose, he probably should be cancelled. He got a lot of black men doing a lot of jail time for his actions, so I do think he should be rejected from the black community. Wait, I'm not finished.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Let me finish.
He's too big to be cancelled, so black people can cancel him, but no one gives a shit because the Mexicans and the Latinos and the white youths are behind him. The kids are behind him, so who cares?
So that's it now, innit? It's over.
Let me say something that's real talk now. Yeah, bro. Have a lot of men talking about 6ix9ine snitching been in the station? Have any of you men ever had a court case? Why the fuck are you talking about snitching? Like, why the fuck are you talking about snitching, bro? You're the same person who probably says fuck. You're the same person who probably says fuck the police, but something bad happens to you, you ring them. Shut up. Like, don't. There's a
lot of these Twitter boys.
Saying 6ix9ine is a snitch, bro. If they said, listen, bro, you are facing 15 years, you're snitching.
Bro, I wouldn't. But I'm not ordering hits though. I'm not ordering.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not
ordering hits, bro.
But I'm saying, why are you talking from the perspective like you would do something different because you don't know that situation because you've never been in it? Shut up.
True. For all we know, he could have been put under the most crippling pressure you've ever seen.
Oh, he was
under heavy pressure.
Yeah, of course. But the fact of the matter is that he was trying to pull out hits. He was getting hits on people, fam.
Exactly. I don't think the way he's acting. All right, cool. You can snitch, but like you can't come home and then make a joke and make hella jokes about taking fathers away from their sons and their daughters, bro. That's not ethically correct, bro.
What do you mean it's not ethically correct? Their parents are grown men, bro. You should know that if you're going out and trying to hey man, if you're going out and trying to end people and you're shooting, like, bro, you should know that there's repercussions, bro. Even criminals know that there's repercussions.
You know what?
I'm not trying to cap for murderers and killers allegedly anyway. I'm not trying to cap for them, so I don't really give a shit. But morally, what he did.
But that's the thing. No one gives a shit. That's why the 6ix9ine thing happened. Like, niggas were so hungry for a little bit of money, they done got themselves locked up.
That's ultimately it. Though. They were so dumb. They were so dumb letting them join their thing in the first place that it just fucked everything up for them.
But the thing as well, like it wasn't. It's not. But there was a time where it was popping. Like that was the place to be. Like when 6ix9ine was talking his thing and they were stamping man out in car parks and busting gun. Like people getting shot in the snow. Like man was face down, just getting blasted in his bum cheeks. Like people were all for it. Like 6ix9ine was up them times, you know. Like now you just have to deal with the other side, man. The left tail risk, man. Got to hold that out, man.
There's nothing that's been how can I say it? That void hasn't been filled. You know, that madness and calamity that happened around 6ix9ine and Treyway and
this guy.
It's not. I've not seen it since. Like, there's no one that's actually taken. Well, he's come back obviously, but obviously he hasn't come back in the same format as he did before.
And another thing people need to realize with 6ix9ine, yeah, this is completely off topic. It's a complete tangent, and we can go into the music game or whatever. But what I'm saying is, yeah, if 6ix9ine didn't have rainbow tattoos and funny hair rainbow hair and funny tattoos and shouted in his videos and was clearly like the odd man out in his videos, yeah, do you think he would have ever reached the same level of notoriety? Sorry. Of course not.
People are here for the circus. People love the circus, man.
Bro, if it was just some Drake, they'll be like, this is just another black rapper from the hood. So
he had very good marketing. He's one of the best marketers.
You know what he had? Do you remember that rapper who was on a World Star a lot, and he sent for Game? Was his name?
Oh
Stitch?
yeah.
Yeah. So basically, 6ix9ine was a better version of him, but he had the backing of the hood, the real hood.
But the thing is,
how he took off.
The thing is, Jamzy, the reason I think he just never popped off because Game punched him up in it, and after that, people were like,
nah, you could tell he wasn't about it. Like you could, like his bark was.
Bro, did you not see when Game laid him out?
Huh?
Game pumped.
I saw that, but even before that happened, I don't think people were taking him seriously like that. Like no one was thinking, "Raw, like this guy."
Exactly, because he didn't have 100 Bloods behind him in the video.
Right, that's what I was getting at. Where 6ix9ine kind of, you saw his videos, you're thinking, "Raw, like he's deep. He's like in the New York subway with bare like guy from the hood." You're thinking, "Raw, he must be."
Imagine you just got this little
smoke mirrors, bro.
You got this little Mexican guy that's shouting at nigger and like sending the troops off the
This guy was trying to do fucking Linkin Park before he started rapping.
That's actually a good topic. Do you not have a problem with him shouting the M word? Because I always saw it from people. No, wait. Let me start. Let me finish. Because I've always seen it as in New York, that's what they do. In LA, they liberal the word. So I'm not going to tell man over there that they should cuss him and not let man say that, because that's their thing and their culture that they want to do. Like, I never saw it as a big deal that he was saying the M word.
Natty, yeah. If your boy, I forget US culture, if your boy who's white decided to say nigger, what are you gonna do?
You can't take it out of the context of their culture, bro. I'm saying in New York.
In New York culture.
In New York or in LA, if they're saying and cool with them with a Latino brother or Dominican,
let's be real though.
Saying the N-word, it's cool.
Let's be real though. Like them New York guys, or they're not in tune with their culture, bro. They don't give a shit, bro. They're some street niggas, bro.
Bro, I mean, the mystique of that word is still something that we're trying to grapple with till today. You know what I mean? It's a mad word.
I can't be too mad at that.
It's a mad
I agree with Natty. I agree with Natty. But I think you can't make that comparison to a white guy from the suburbs that say there was your white mate from Richmond and he one day just says nigger. Doesn't even say it in the context of a song. He's not even reciting a song. Man just say, oh, my nigga Natty, or my nigga. Like, that's a problem. But even when you listen to 6ix9ine, the way he just talks, his mannerisms, it's literally just New York. Do you know what I mean? It's not, anytime he says the N-word, like, it doesn't... I don't flinch.
Man.
Do you know what I'm saying? But
if
it's a white guy that's never experienced that never had a black experience and they say it, you flinch straight away. You're like, rah, like.
I don't agree with that, Jamzy. I don't think his mannerisms of a person of New York. Look at him now. He's not the same.
No, he's from Bed-Stuy. They said, I listened to the interview with him with some of his ex-boys, and they literally said he grew up around the way. He did grow up in the hood. He grew up around blacks. Like, in New York, that's just cool. That's what their thing is like.
Bro, we've seen Justin Wong.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I was going to bring it up. We've seen Justin Wong use that shit.
It's a US problem, I would say, because I lived over there for a little bit as well. It's being black is also synonymous with the culture as well. Like, there's no separation. Like being white is completely different from white culture. Like there's at least some level of separation where you can get away with whereas being black, you can end up with someone white literally just calling you a nigger for no reason, like or reciting it in a song. Like we've been commoditized, like
bro. That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a product and a service at once, like
bro.
so we can't be mad when we get used.
White girls will hear certain songs and say nigga with their chest out. Bro, we can't get mad about that word no more.
I've never personally seen that, a white girl.
If you go to any rave outside of London, you will see white people saying nigga with their chest absolutely out. Higher. So, like, just leave it, bro. Like, getting worked up over that word, yes, it's more stress than it's worth. End of the day, from when we know that white people say that word to trigger black people, like,
you can't let them have power.
It's tough, bro.
It's a bad matchup.
But you need to, if you I don't know, man, because
Like,
you can't let it lose its oomph. You know what I'm saying?
There are white people that know that when they say that word, it's over. It's a wrap. A black person is gonna chimp out. You know what I mean?
That's what they say. Yeah.
How can you have?
Man said chimp out.
That's what they say. That's the
out.
language they use. That's the language they use.
It's true. Yeah, it's the same with your mum. It's the same with suck your mum. Like people know that will get you to chimp out.
What's gonna like you know
chimp out.
What is that?
Wow.
What is
No, I hear what you're trying to say. You're right. We don't have that with whites. What's our equivalent to trigger?
Nothing, because you can say the words.
You want to try call a white man? You want to try call a white man a cracker or a hotkey, bro?
Yeah, but those words don't have no oomph like the N word does. They have no oomph.
They haven't got.
You don't have an equivalent.
Like chub only works on people who've had a hard life.
They haven't got years of slavery behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
The word has those words have no connotation to them, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what word triggers people? Yeah, but it don't really trigger me. Is when people white people call us monkeys, bro. If you look at their actual faces, yeah, they do not look like they got small lips. They look like white.
Let's not start reading.
This is going to be the fourth and last episode. This is the fourth and last episode of the thing, boy, because everyone's going to get cancelled.
No, you know what?
Everyone's about to get cancelled, boy.
You're gonna get cancelled, man.
This is well.
Let's fix the episode, bro.
Don't put my Twitter details on the thing, fam.
It's not gonna happen, Aaron.
Delete this episode, bro.
But yeah, I think so. The topic, I guess, was cancel culture. In my opinion, it's a culture that is going to keep carrying on. But I don't think anyone has successfully been cancelled. I've not seen it.
It's soft cancels, isn't it?
People
get angry at people. Yeah. People get angry at people for a couple of days. People get angry at people for a couple of days, and then they forget.
They find the next enemy. But them man might reset your save date. They might reset your save date.
Yeah. Well, some people never truly get reset though. They lose a couple hours. They lose a couple hours.
They might take away a couple of your gym badges, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you never have to start again from the beginning.
The Doja Cat one was funny. They fully tried to cancel it. It never happened.
But you know what? Yeah, you know what? I don't like that what they were trying to do to that girl, bro. All that girl
did a dirty.
Dude, what that girl was doing is making music. But you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry to say this. Yeah, black women do not like light skinned women. They don't.
Boy, I don't agree.
You can say the same thing about like why light skinned women think they're superior to dark skinned women though.
I don't know if they do though. I don't know if they have.
I feel like that's the thing because remember even like last week when not last week, that time when all the influencers hold on Louie, the time when all the influencers were getting exposed for being coons and that, there was one of them who she was a light skinned girl. She said that she used to cuss black skinned girls. And throughout I was watching her apology because I love seeing people grovel in that situation. So I was watching her apology, and all she kept on bringing up was the fact that I'm a light skinned girl, and I was cussing black skinned girls, dark skinned girls, sorry, and I'm a light skinned girl, and it shouldn't change the fact that I'm a light skinned girl and I was being disrespectful to dark skinned.
But you know what? Yeah, people. But you know what? Yeah, you're first and first. Yeah, you're an idiot if you tie any sort of like I don't know. Like I feel it's bad. Like if you feel like you take any sort of any form of superiority from like the fucking. The tone of your skin. Yeah,
exactly. Like, at the end of the day, you're still black.
Yeah,
but like the thing is, like mixed race girls, they take corn from white girls. Like they know, like when they see Johnny like step into the rave and he's looking around in his loafers and socks.
But niggas don't care about the rave. Like like, let's be honest, like, the rave is like a small part of your life, but what you should
Oh
be
yeah, for
concerned
sure.
about, what you should be concerned about is the other fucking 97% of your life that happens when you walk, when you're going to work and you're trying to put food on your own table. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
you should
come
be
on.
caring about these
We don't
things.
have foresight like that. If you're talking about
Like,
people within
blood, you don't
university or
give a
within
fuck about,
high school,
why do
they're
you
not
give
going
a
to
fuck about,
talk
why do
about
you give a fuck
putting
about,
food on
why
the
do you,
table.
no, but it's not about that, but that's the thing, yo. When you go on Twitter, yeah, it's not 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds chatting this West, it's people our age, bro, that are sitting or tweeting from Wi-Fi about fucking light skinned versus black people. It's like, bro, relax, fam. Like, bro, like, go and
You know
feed,
what? It's getting better because
feed
we
your
all know how
kids.
Twitter was back in 2010,
Yeah, but we was running wild, man.
2011. It was
That was
a cornfield.
the new world order.
It was. I couldn't believe it. Looking through the tweets, like I couldn't believe. I think people were just trying to outdo each other from what just saying. It's like who can say the most outlandish thing today? That's what Twitter was.
Definitely. We were going in.
People forget like that was the internet era where when you close your computer, you went back to real life. Like that was
Yeah.
But now real life
after
it's
BBM and social media integrated into real life, like became
Yeah, exactly.
cornfield.
It used to, literally online was your online persona, like a
Yeah.
fucking, you'll be a superhero online, innit?
Now they'll find your place of work and they'll
Yeah.
make you the boss.
Yeah, it's like,
But how many times on BBM or site some conversation became like come buck me and you closed your app and left it. Like now it's actually a thing where
it sounds like it was a high level troll on BBM.
location.
Sounds like it was a high
Actually,
level
do you know
troll.
what you were talking about, Chuck? About you said you think black women hate light skinned women.
I don't think I wouldn't say it's hate, yeah, but I would say that there was a tension between them. Like, me personally,
For sure.
like black, I don't know, man. I don't want to start talking about black women and all these things because, like, really, like my views could be very misguided. You know what I mean? So I don't really want to come across as somebody misguided because I'm not trying to do that, bro. Like me, I just want to like go to work tomorrow. You feel me? But end of the day, yeah. Like, I do feel like there's a chip on the shoulder to some extent. Just from perusing social media, I do feel like
Well,
a bad vibe.
Do you feel like that black men kind of don't help that?
Oh, what do black men have to do with it, bro? Every man is
Yeah, but no, but you need to understand that
every
the
man
whole
is
thing,
allowed to have
the whole
preference.
thing
That's
about
not fair. That's not fair, Lawrence, man.
Every man's allowed to have his preference, bro. What do you mean, fam?
yeah, but that perpetuates the thing. That
For
puts
example, yeah, I'm short. I'm a short guy. If a girl says, I'm the kind of fucking, you're not over 6 foot, I'm like, bro, I have to take on the chin. You know what I mean? I have to, on to the next one. You know what I mean? It's very simple, bro. It's very, very simple. Why can't it be as binary as it is?
but not but not everyone. Maybe not everyone wants to accept it. Like you might accept it.
Why
Like fucking.
why can't you accept it if I can accept
No,
it?
but I think we should start. Well, I don't know. It's a hard one because I get what Chuck's saying. It's like I don't even want to get into the situation. But
Exactly,
the
bro.
whole,
Exactly.
you know, the whole district thing. Remember when
everyone's looking on thin ice. Everyone's looking on thin ice right now. Everyone's looking on thin ice.
Let me land. Remember when those girls made the campaign and they actually protested? So this is actually a good segue into the whole protesting thing. But they actually protested about them being denied entry into a nightclub.
I remember
However, as black men, it's kind
was
of
that the one that
we
said
just know we're used to this. This has just been a thing. It's like, oh, make sure we don't go in as a group. Make sure we dress
wearing certain things, exactly.
Shirt buttoned up, shoes flat, everything. Whereas we could easily, and it would be well in our rights to have protested for time because there's so many examples. I could speak for myself. I remember going to Manchester, Club Live, I'll say out there, for my brother's birthday. I phoned the promoters. I confirmed with him 3 weeks in advance, 2 weeks in advance, 1 week in advance, 1 day in advance. Have you got us? Are we patterned? I've told him who's coming. We're coming from London. He said, yep, make sure dress code, blah, blah, blah. As soon as we got there, not tonight, lads. Could you imagine that? Not tonight, lads. And that's from London to Manchester. And it was only due to our race, but they're notorious for that. I could have easily gone on Twitter, gone on Instagram, made a whole rant, but it's one of those ones, as you said, bro, there's more to life than that, so let's just continue.
Take it to your chin, bro. Take it to your chin, fam. There are certain men who like white girls. There's certain men who like mixed race girls. There's certain men who like dark-skinned women. Like, there's something for every. There is something for everybody.
I think Lawrence, I think what the issue is. I think where the issue comes from that they have is that it's because we live in a Western country that we're pre-programmed to like a women, and it's almost like a self-hate. It comes across as almost a self-hate thing because we grow up being attracted to white women, and then because subconsciously, because that's all we see, that's the standards of beauty, and they don't fit into that, so they feel like they're given the short straw. because
blood.
they're the least liked. Like white men don't
One,
like dark skinned women,
another
even our own don't like
another
dark
thing
skinned
is,
women.
oh yeah,
That's how they feel.
Bro, next time I come on this podcast, I want to come with a vocal that I'm just going to start spitting wreck. Because
You need to come with one of those voice changes.
the
So no,
one that Kane had in 1998, where he put the thing by his throat. Because
yeah.
man out here telling Western beauty standards.
another thing though is that
Blood.
Look, we're men, bro. We're Graham, we're men. We can
say that,
get
yeah.
money,
It's
and
not a
the
lot.
height thing don't matter. But like they can't really like the equalizer might not be there for them. I suppose.
Sorry, bro. You know what I mean?
Actually, you know what? Yeah, there's something else that women do on the TL, yeah, which is not good. They'll see one like black man that will say, "Ah, fuck black girls" or something like that. Then they'll be like, "Why do a lot of them?" It's not a lot of us. It's only like a little minority of them that will.
That's the thing. That's the thing, though. People, in general, in society, people will look more at the one person doing something negative than
Exactly.
the positive.
That's a big problem.
People in general just look at the
Well,
negatives more than the positive.
confirmation bias, isn't it? That's all.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all it is. If
People
one thing
always do
happens
that.
if one thing happens somewhere, it must be happening everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So if
obviously
I'm not gonna say coon. I'm not gonna say coon now. But if one person, if one person says, one black man says black girls are buns, then obviously to these black girls, every black guy is saying black girls are buns, which is not the case at all.
Bro, blood. You know what? Yeah, when it comes to women as well, yeah, there's so many social dynamics at play. It's not just fucking. It's not everything is what it seems, bro. Some men might be saying these things just to get in your pants, bro. Like, be honest with yourself, cause some men might be acting like wearing the fucking the sheikies and all them thing there because they want to fuck. Like, there's
when they chop, you see what they're really about.
Like, you'll see, yeah, exactly. Bro. You'll see.
I saw that.
I know guys that will deal with black girls, yeah, that do not give a flying fuck, but they'll make you believe that they're hotep. They'll make you believe it.
There's a lot of things like that. I knew a girl when I was working at a place. There was a girl who was working there who was an avid Christian, and she was on a Christian dating site. And then she met someone off there, and straight away on the first date, this guy did a madness, and she caught something. She caught something from this guy. She caught like herpes or something from this guy, and it's like he was obviously a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he was masquerading as a Christian.
That's
atrocious.
I am.
That is crazy.
Blood, the game is my brother. The game is the game, fam. Some of these.
She has to charge that one to the game. She has to charge that one to the game still.
Nah, fam, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, fam.
That's
Bro,
like
what's
I saw on the TL today where a black girl must have been like, why is it black women with white men last longer than black guys with white women?
Man.
I was just like,
Why does that matter?
I was just like, don't you know, as you were saying a minute ago, don't you feel like some of these it's not even just white people, other races just want to chop you and cut, like, it's not that deep to them. They're thinking, you know what, Charlie? I think I could beat this little lass over here. It's not like they don't care. Some of them really don't care.
Sport.
Doing sports. Bro, if you worry about other men's relationships, yeah, you're going to be stressed permanent. Your life is just going to be stressed. You're not going to gain any happiness, bro. If you keep worrying about the next man's relationships and the next man's preferences, bro, go do you, fam. You're the most important person in your life, bro. Go do your thing, fam. Fuck all of that.
But that's a big problem in
all of that
black culture, man. We send for each other too much, man. That needs to stop still.
Definitely. Yeah, we have to make a change because if that doesn't stop, these protests, these hashtags, these black screens, black boxes, that they're just all for nothing.
Oh,
and you mentioned it.
Everyone needs to be prepared for when next week or like a month down the line.
When they say we can go raving again, and men don't care no more.
Yeah, to be honest, I would hate for that to happen, but I feel like in my soul, yeah, that's how.
Well, you think it's inevitable?
Yeah,
I think this is good that we have the
care.
podcast to refer back to, so we can actually say,
Actually, I've got one more question before we close this out. Yeah, this is what I had in my head. Do you think when you don't go back to work, obviously everyone here is black, that your workplace is going to move different with you guys, the black culture?
They're having talks, so I'll let you know what they say. I think they might try
if you work, sorry, Natty, go ahead.
They might. I think they're going to try to do some gestures, but whether they're actually effective or not, like I said before, they're probably just going to hire more black people and then not sort of. Especially
I say wait and see.
Them properly.
I feel like if you work at enterprise level, you're going to see more changes. You're going to see some serious changes. I'd honestly do.
Yeah, like in my opinion, it's all pay for play. Like obviously, when something goes all the way to one side, there's some type of mean reversion. So I think this is this is why I was calling for about race wars and whatnot. I was calling for this in March, like niggas remember, man.
Man said he's calling for race wars.
Why are you calling for race wars?
What?
I was predicting it, like my millennium eye was chinging. I'm telling you, bro.
I
I
think it's
called
gonna be
it
a
literally.
shift. I think
There has to be a shift. Like that's why I was even saying that's even when I started getting ideas. Like I don't think Trump has it in the bag like he did.
Wait! I saw a tweet today saying that they're looking to dissolve the Minnesota Police Department. What the fuck is that?
That's extreme, isn't it?
What the fuck is that?
Don't they just need to
have they
find
been shown
their
that they're corrupt, like proper corrupt?
Well, they're trying to dissolve it and move to community, but community-based policing.
I think the head of the union literally just said like, "Hey man, I've shot someone myself."
Oh yeah, he said he sleeps well at night. He said he's been involved in three shootings, meaning he's got he's got three bodies. And
no, it's free shootings don't mean free bodies.
Bro, you know what he meant, because the fact that he said I can sleep well at night, he means
just don't say free bodies. And if you shoot man while they're in the commission of a crime, yeah, and you believe it's a him or me situation, are you in the wrong? No, blood.
Okay, we don't know the context of that, but what he is
put it this way, if we had armed police over here, yeah, and an armed madman broke into your house, and by some serendipity you managed to lock yourself in a room and you called the police, yeah, and we had armed police, and the armed police pulled up and they clapped the guy in his head and left his brains on the wall, yeah, would you not be thanking them?
That's fantastic. Yeah, but come on, but that's stated obvious though. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. How are you expecting? Why are you making a police officer feel bad about doing his job?
No, we're talking about. I guess they're talking about.
This is part of the 1980s.
No, that's what I'm saying. So why are you expecting him to say I shouldn't? Why should he not sleep well at night when he's doing things in the commission of stopping crime?
Obviously, we don't know the context of those shootings, right? Like they've not been documented. They've not been.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But
in the media, like the George Floyd.
No, of course. That's what I'm saying. You have to assume that he's talking about doing these lawful,
legitimate,
lawful. Obviously, it's not like when they shot. Do you remember my man, John Charles de Menezes? Does anyone remember that?
In Stockwell.
Yeah, exactly. Like obviously that's fuckeries, but like. Outside of that, like you still have to, like we still need police. Like I don't understand this thing when people are saying we need to dissolve the police. Like that is not.
Well, you know what? It would be good to see more examples of that. So I remember you sent the video of the movie RoboCop and him saving the baby from the criminal by doing a shot that bounced the wall and hit him in the back head. Bro, if we could see things like that, not like that obviously, but similar, where the police officer was in the right, killed the man, he had to do that, then I could be like, you know what, the police are in the right. Like
that's what we want.
We're not seeing that anymore. We're seeing them abusing their power. That's the issue.
If I was an avid Black Lives Matter protester or an avid guy who, because I don't even want to say Black Lives Matter anymore, I want to say we need to protest against injustice and police brutality in America, and in some states, and in some cases even in the UK, in some cases, because we do have an issue with it over here. But in any case, we need to see some sort of change, and that's what we're after, bro. I'm not really too interested in all this stuff about civil rights and like black people trying to get some form of new age affirmative action under the tag Black Lives Matter, because that's bullshit to me. But if you want to see police wearing body cameras and your average citizen being able to get a report and look at the body cam footage to make sure there was nothing untoward going on, or there needs to be some sort of, because as far as I know, America does not have an IPCC. Over here in this country, we have an IPCC. We have an Independent Police Complaints Commission. Yeah, I don't believe they have that in America. Like,
so if you get roughed up, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
so why are they looking to establish something like that in America? Because it's been happening in America for time. Do you remember Amadou Diallo? Does anyone know him? This guy came up, Amadou Diallo, go research that case. This is a guy that just came out of a shop and police licked him down, fired like 30 shots at him because they thought he was someone he wasn't. You know, this shit has been going on from the beginning of time.
I think in America,
some sort of change, bro. Yeah, no, go on.
They've got really strong police unions, which is why they can resist stuff like IIP or is it CC.
Yeah, of course.
So they're really unionized, which means it's hard to actually enact change on them because their whole MO is we trying to get police to have as little restrictions as possible.
That's true. That's true. But at the end of the day, see, it's so difficult, man. It's such like there's such a complex web of problems that need to be broken down. So this whole thing, we need to take baby steps, bro. We need to take baby steps and like come up with solutions that are tangible, man. Like, I don't understand like tearing down shops of slave owners, looting, going out and doing all this fuckery, bro. It don't do nothing for us, bro. If anything, it sends us further back.
Do you feel as though
hit
if we are paid back? One sec,
Louie.
Louis. One sec. Do you feel as though if we were paid back, not we, but in America, the African Americans were given reparations, that there would be a change?
That's not doing anything.
It's not doing anything.
Niggas are gonna go buy some Givenchy, man. Some
Exactly. If we could be confident in our hearts that they'll use it to build infrastructure for themselves, then maybe it could be an option. But
it's happened before. You know, there was a Black Wall Street, right?
Listen, Black Wall Street, is the thing that triggers me most about everything. That thing fucking triggers the shit out of me.
Yeah,
I think it's so triggering. But yeah, that thing that they didn't need no reparations for that. They built that stuff all on their own.
Black Wall Street could happen in the UK now, but that's because like instead of trying to open a grocery shop, a black man wants to open up a Jamaican food shop. No offense to the man who owns Jamaican food shops, but that's what happens, isn't it?
You know what? In Tottenham, they've opened up a grocery store, a black-owned grocery store, bringing exports from.
Shout them out.
I hope my man gets visitors, but if the shit's cheaper in Sainsbury's, I'm still going Sainsbury's, bro.
Please, I'm trying to reach there.
Yeah, go reach there.
That's how business works. You crowd out the competition with deflationary pricing. And when you've got them all down, you raise the prices back up.
Can I drop the address for this thing?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, Aaron.
We'll drop the link. We'll drop the link in the video.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let me drop some bars quickly about this cancel culture thing. Like this cancel culture we have is a scuffed version of the rape cancel culture, you know. Like, because you remember before this.
Listen. You can't do this.
Louie, man.
Do you remember the mattress girl? Do you remember the mattress girl who basically just lied and said her some guy she was seeing who was basically just pamming it and he wasn't trying to wife it. She basically just said he raped her in the end. This whole cancel culture is just a derivation of that, you know. Like,
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
You know what? It's annoying. It's annoying that he has a point because I'm not trying to.
He's not wrong. No.
Yeah, but I'm saying so like whilst we're kind of saying the cancel culture is not real. There is something behind it where
what you're saying is they've weaponized being able to cancel someone, and it's doxing. They've weaponized doxing somebody to further their viewpoints and make sure that nobody comes with a contrary viewpoint. That's all. That's all. Like, and it's understandable. It's understandable because some people think.
And we've now reached a point where yourself, you need to start applying certain armors, aka Black Lives Matter, aka trans, aka LGBT. You have to start like equipping bare items basically to survive in this battlefield. Like, so.
The thing is, everything I've said today is a massive slip. But luckily, I have no social media presence, so no one can come for me. No one can come for me.
I don't get why you said that. You know what? You actually put a challenge out there.
Hey,
the Columbus.
Man put the bounty on his head, man put the bounty on his own head.
Bro, my quiz.
You're underestimating the power of the internet, bro.
Yo, bro, man, say my second name. Fuck's sake.
I'm gonna black that out. Big clap.
Bleep it.
In America, people just need to come out the gulag, fam. Have you seen how there's
let me finish this. I wanted to say what I was saying. We've reached a point where now the whole battle is how many little minorities or divisions can you identify with, and how many can you accumulate and use that to power you on your little agenda of where you're going. So like you'll see these people online, like when you check their Twitter profiles, like their bio tells you everything you need to know about what type of idiot they are. Like they literally say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. It's like, bro, you're a human being. And it's the same problem with the police. Like it's niggas in costumes, man. Like some blue shirt, like some t-shirt. And
but that nigga has a badge,
is gone at me because I'm wearing a hoodie. Like it's everything's back to like.
That nigga has a badge, bro. He's got a pass to rush you.
He does. But in the end, it's all like almost. I want to say in our heads, like if it's time to get down officers, like they can get crushed, you know, or badge with no badge.
Bro, you know what? Louie, on that, yeah. Do you know all these UK people that are looting? They're not about that life, you know. Because
Yeah, nobody's looting in the UK, are they?
No one's looting in the UK.
No, I'm saying, what there's something I'm going on from Louis. There's some people going on Twitter saying, if these UK police ever tried to do anything, I'm like, bro, if these don't really wanted to wreck you, they would actually do it.
Bro, the thing is, the thing is, everything is insured, and then we live in the most photographed place in the world. So I beg you, try it, because they'll put you in court, and it will be a quick court proceeding, and you'll just enjoy your 2-3 years in the bin. Watching, watching E4.
My boy got 11 years for the London Rights.
If you want to watch the whole, if you want to watch Big Bang Theory from start to finish, then go ahead, bro. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do that.
But you know what I was saying as well. These officers, like, they're still people at the end of the day. So there's a tipping point. Whereas the madness is, like, right now you're seeing people you would refer to as CVs, neeks, all of that. They're the ones who are dashing things at the police officers, you know. It's not roadmen who are outside, you know, throwing up PYs.
You don't know that, though. Didn't you see those goons roughing up them police?
That's a couple man, but for the majority, the man outside, this is everyday man. Like,
you don't think they were goons?
I don't think
they were kids.
We've got better things to like.
Yeah, but the kids are the goons now, innit?
Real goons are not outside making themselves.
Yeah, real goons are not protesting in central London, in Trafalgar. They have ops, you know, like they're not trying to be in.
Exactly.
This is what I'm trying to say, though. Like, a lot of these people, obviously, it's a lot of kids that are not in college right now, and they're trying to get out of the house. So they're using any excuse to do anything.
I don't know. I feel like
this thing has happened in the most fuckery time possible for it to happen. It has actually happened in the most scary time.
Because it could potentially put so many lives in danger again.
There are loads of lives, not even outside of that. Like, we're living in a time when men have been forcibly to stay in the house. Yeah, You've got a massive coronavirus pandemic coming on. You've got a massive economic fucking shortfall happening as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. You've got people's mental health is not in the right place, bro. You've got loads of people on the internet at once, bro. You've got loads of people at home on Twitter when they should be at work, or when they could be at work. I shouldn't say should, because everybody's free to do whatever they want. So you've got a lot of shit. It's a perfect storm. Yeah,
and people's agendas are still getting pushed. So
it's a perfect storm for this to happen.
Some of these cops in America, they're not even like racist. They haven't even done any Bruce brutality. Yeah, they're just trying to get home to their wife and kids, man. They're just trying to do their job.
They are man.
I want to see
we need to understand. Not all the police are getting pitched though. There was like pictures of videos even of a policeman who, unluckily for him, he lost his unit and he was like stuck behind a crowd of protesters, and instead of them pitching him because he's by himself, it would be easy meat. Yeah, they're protecting him. So it's not all peak for all the police.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that.
I want to say something about Mr. Chauvin. I'm telling you, he's going to be given out as a peace offering. You know,
no, he's not. He's going to be in the wing with the paedophiles and the other officers, but they can't.
They are not going to allow somebody to die.
If he dies,
not death, but they're gonna offer him up with because when I saw all the other officers were getting charged too, I was like, I reckon this is just a pay for play. So, like, you know, they're gonna run this shit. They're going to give him up so that they can keep their little power structure.
What do you think about that? Because
he's not.
I think those all the other officers are just as guilty for being passive in that situation.
One thing,
it's third degree murder, though.
The question I had.
It's third degree murder. Yeah.
The question I had about that situation.
They had the other officers had their knee on him as well, but a different body part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The question I had though was that guy the superior officer?
He most probably was.
If he is, then I can understand why they were turning a blind eye, because they don't want to contravene what the superior officer.
But even in the army though, if your captain or whatever tells you to do something immoral, you have a right to tell them that it's fucked. So
is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they tell you to do some fucked up shit, you can tell them you're not doing it.
You know the track. You might know this already. You know the guy that actually put his knee on his neck. You see the Asian cop that was there?
Yeah, it was gays.
That's his relative, basically.
No, that was found out to be
false. Was that false?
Yeah,
was that false?
That's the problem with the internet. It's so easy.
These days, niggas are just putting out shit that didn't happen.
Yeah, so easy to spread.
Niggas could be showing clips from riots years ago and niggas wouldn't even know.
It's similar to that coronavirus, though, isn't it? It showed Asian people coughing in tissue and wiping the tissue on lift
Exactly.
lines.
Yeah,
It's like,
for real.
how do
Saying
you
that
verify that?
Last
Yeah,
episode.
exactly.
The internet, you can't believe what you see all the time, way.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so mad.
But saying that, oh gosh, do we have time? But yeah, do you guys know Candace Owens? She's
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I saw
on
her
Twitter.
video
She's a black
recently.
Republican, and
Yeah.
she made a video, a Facebook video that went viral, I guess, amongst those people in the other side, and they're really going for her. So she's a black woman, black Republican, but she's totally against the Black Lives Matter movement, and she was literally going through George Floyd's rap sheet. You know, she was literally spitting the. I'm not going to say
Alright,
facts, but she was going through the information
sounds
that's
like
out
So
there.
what was it that he did?
Finish.
Oh, go on.
Let him finish.
Yeah,
This is good.
so
This
it
is
came to
good.
the point where I said, look, I'm gonna watch this video, and in my opinion, the timing of it is not good. Like, people are out there protesting and mourning for the death. He should have died. Like, she made it clear that he didn't belong. He shouldn't have died. But at the same time, I think the fact that she's talking about his criminal background, it was like she was trying to make the whole thing about, oh, he shouldn't have died, but he doesn't deserve to get this amount of attention that he's got.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Can I expand on it? Because I literally just watched it like an hour ago. So basically, what she was saying is basically George Floyd has got a bit of a rap sheet. Most of it is not that bad. It's like I think it was petty theft, and he's been charged twice with cocaine possession, which is fine. Like, white people get charged like all the time. Like, it's cool. But also he did a home invasion on a black woman where him and he pretended to be someone from the water company. Broke into her house with five other dudes. I'm guessing 4 other dudes, and held a gun to her belly and said, "Yo, where's the drugs and where's the cash?" Didn't really get anything, but his neighbor saw the plates, and so he got caught, and George Floyd went to prison for that, right? And what she was basically saying is that we're the only community that makes martyrs out of the lowest segment of our society. Yeah. So we will fight for the murderers and the murderers or people or criminals more than we will fight for the middle class black people, and like we rally around the wrong type of people.
Yeah, look at easy example. Look at R. Kelly. People, that guy was raping kids and that for years and years and years, but people were riding out for him, riding out till the bitter end for him.
Not even just that, like even realistically, like some people within our communities shutting drugs and all of that kind of stuff. You see people say freedom. Really?
Yeah. She's right that we glorify, our culture over glorifies criminals, but she's wrong in sort of, he didn't deserve to die, so hammering down that point is not that important.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. What are you trying to make? She even said it. He didn't deserve to die. So it's like, okay, so why did you make this statement? Why did you make the point? Like, well, her point was, he shouldn't be a martyr. He shouldn't be celebrated, or his death shouldn't be such a big thing to the point where it's reached different countries.
But she's just been an idiot. There's no fucking. Just because she's in a high place of power doesn't mean that she can't be
because of the time. It's definitely
it doesn't mean that she can't also just be an idiot. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how well educated she is or whatever she has managed to achieve in her life.
She's still a person at the end of the day.
She can be an idiot. She can say stupid things, and you know what I mean. Like, if you say something stupid, it means you're stupid, bro. Like, that's all it is. Like, man can't say. If man has the audacity to say that people are making a martyr out of George Floyd, then she's an idiot. Nobody is making a martyr out of George Floyd. They are using George Floyd as a current example, as a glaring example of the injustice that black people face, and it's simple as that.
Exactly. That's how I work.
On that though,
she's literally caping for
our community. For all these Black Lives Matter and all these protests, we do need some proper black leaders in there, not just some any guy that's leading the charge, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, who are our black leaders? Our black leaders are rappers. Our black leaders are sportsmen. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They men are set already. They don't care.
So you don't think the protests by Colin Kaepernick and dumb man?
It don't.
You don't think it's
Colin Kaepernick, he's a good leader.
No, they care. Don't get me wrong. They care. They feel strongly. Yeah, but at the end of the day, what we need for these things to actually change, yeah, is not a guy kneeling in an NFL stadium and then going to play the game. That's not doing anything for anybody. Unfortunately, it's bringing awareness to the issue. Don't get me wrong, it's bringing eyes to the issue. But the actual change that needs to happen, we need a different kind of cat to do it. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but we need a different kind of cat. Like me, I was hoping to see like people like Obama wade in. I don't know. I don't really. That's the thing. Like even as somebody who likes to be up on politics, yeah, I don't really know that many. Top level black leaders. Like I think of them. Like look at this. Like you have that idiot Kamala Harris. She's a fool fam. She's a donut. Cuz you know what I mean. Like
we got Dr. Umar.
Oh, shut up. Jamzy, bro, don't do that.
Where? Oh, shit, I said something stupid, didn't I?
Bleep that, Jamzy. Bleep that.
My man's a meme, bro. Like, I'm like, you had niggas getting behind that nigga. Like, bro, like, that guy.
No, you know, because yeah, he's well educated. That's one of the things. And
is he well educated? Is he?
It could be all the roots because we don't know.
Definitely.
Nobody's seen the documents. Nobody's seen.
But the thing is
there's a long form article on Dr. Umar Johnson in either the Washington Post or the New York Times, one of those two papers, yeah. And the woman basically says there's a woman who went to one of his talks. She got invited. It's a black woman who wrote the article now, and she said, "Listen, I don't think this guy's credentials are real.
Fucking hell.
I don't think he's real."
So what's he done with the money for the school, the quote unquote school he's making?
He's raised over $300,000 currently for this school for black people. Yeah. It doesn't take $300,000.
If you think about it, you know what everyone keeps asking? What's he done with the money? What's he done with the money? I follow Dr. Umar, and I'll be honest, if he didn't spend it on a school and spend it on himself, he's definitely not showing it. You know, the guy is living in Philly. He's living in the hood. I don't know if you guys saw the picture of or the video footage when he went on live and the other camera was showing where he was staying, and it looked like a crack den. Like, it looks like he's got what's the word called when you just keep stuff and you don't get rid of stuff?
Hoarder.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a hoarder's issue. So, you know, when everyone's like, where's the money? I'm thinking, if he's got all this money, he definitely ain't spending it on himself. So I believe he's doing something with it.
Maybe he is doing something with it. Maybe he's funding his traveling around the country. You never know.
That's what I think.
Maybe he's funding all sorts of fuckery. You don't know. Maybe put into some sort of fuckery's investment. You don't know about it, bro.
He put it on Bitcoin at 20k.
Yeah, bro. You cannot take these things. You cannot take anything at face value in this current day and age. Nothing. Even the thing the politicians say, you can't take it at face value. We are living in a time where now more than ever, if we look at the course of events over the first half of this year, yeah, we need to be looking at like having more of a discerning eye about the media that we read and the things that we see and hear, because we've seen some madness, bro. We've seen madness. We've had a political leader in this country say, "No, man, herd immunity is cool," and then get licked down by the very same disease. You know, like, bro, we need to like seriously think about what we're doing and saying and put it into our minds. And bro,
now that guy's motto for me right now is, well, I got licked down by it. I don't care about the rest. I don't really. Like, oh well, the rest of you survive.
Bro, he's not, bro. Listen, man, what they're doing now and allowing this shit to happen is clearly some.
And to be honest, it's off topic, yeah. But if all these people are protesting, where's the COVID numbers, son?
No.
It takes 2 weeks to incubate, though. 2 weeks.
It takes a lot of time to incubate, and that is proven because after these VE Day parties that a lot of men had, because remember that was like the middle of May or the end of May, if you remember correctly. And I think it was the middle of May, and you had hospital admissions increased for sure.
So we have to wait 2 weeks to see what happens.
You have to wait a while. It's not 2 weeks. No, it's not 2 weeks.
It's longer than 2 weeks.
It's 7 to 10 days.
I'm not even gonna go back into COVID.
We'll check next week, fam.
This has been a long episode, but it's been 1 hour and 37 minutes, bro.
Right, I feel like we've been talking for longer, but yeah, man. Everyone, anybody who hears this, please, bro, don't cancel me, bro. Please, I worked hard.
Don't make no mercy now. You said everything you wanted to say.
And this guy is chatting was, man. He will have his black wife home. He's chatting rubbish.
Yeah, this guy is pro-black. The same way Louie is a liberal, this guy is pro-black.
Pro-black.
I'm a liberal in law and a conservative inside my house.
Bro, I don't really care about the colour of your skin. I just want you to do well if you're around me. That's all it is.
Pretty much.
I just want you to do better.
Personally, you can find me on no socials. Don't look for me. I'm not out here.
Don't look at you. Don't, boy. It's all
only follow me if you're ready to go into the coal mine. That's what I'm saying.
Right. I'm gonna close it out, man. It's been a long episode.
Yeah.
I know certain man have got work tomorrow.
I don't really. But you know what?
I'm one of them, to be honest. I
It's
can't.
work.
No, I've
It's
got
work
work.
in this day and age, bro. Coming sitting in my house, getting out of my bed at 12 and going to my laptop.
I've got work tomorrow, boy.
Jeez.
Living the dream.
That's not even a dream, bro. It's a struggle, fam. It's bad, bro. I hate it.
I'm gonna close it out, boy. It's fact. Thanks for the man them coming on again. You had some new members.
Thanks for having me on.
We're building up the roster. We need to get more in.
Oh yeah, I gotta say the names in it. I'm not even gonna do the acts, man. Now, once we put the act links in, obviously Natty doesn't want his name, his socials to be put out there.
Fam, leave my socials alone.
Leave my socials alone, man. I'm not doing this for the clout.
I don't need. I need accolades. I don't need clout. I need accolades.
Bro, trust me, I need money. If you want my PayPal now.
Hey, cash app.
Make a Black Life better. That's why I want to see my bank account right now.
Like, bro, anyway, I don't even want to talk too loose, but
Let me drop my last buzz. You know what? Like this whole Black Lives Matter thing. Like white people are trying to make America great, and they're fucking that up. Like, when are they gonna make Black Lives Matter? Like, it's all upside down, man.
Right, I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna shout out all the Mandos, or shout out to Aaron, shout out to Louie, shout out to Graham, shout out to Jay.
Say my second name, bro. Jesus Christ.
What should I call it? Chuck? Should I say Chuck?
Just call him Chuck. Why you man holding him up? Just call him Chuck.
You better try to bury me.
Cut that out. I can't cut that out.
Yeah.
Gordon, cut.